Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Diz Unlimited Podcast, episode 22, coming to you live from the studio that dreams built. I'm your host today, Rhino, and joining me for our discussion is Dreams Unlimited travel agent Teresa Eccles.
Hello.
Hannah Anderson.
Hey.
And Craig Williams.
No, hoi hoi.
I was trying to do the SNL thing. I didn't love it.
Craig.
Yeah. But this podcast is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. They are experts at helping you plan your perfect Disney vacation. When you book with them, it costs you nothing extra on your trip. You help support the channel and all the content that we produce over here. So check them out, dreamsunlimitedtravel.com today, where you can get a free, no obligation quote. It's also brought to you by our Patreon supporters. If you want some exclusive content from members of the Diz team, like our Patreon exclusive uncensored post show that takes place immediately after this, you can learn more about that at patreon.com/Diz Unlimited. I wrote a thing off to the side that my eyes went back to. And before we get started today, just a reminder to make sure that you are subscribed to us on YouTube. You want to click that bell so that you can get notified anytime that we have new videos going out, and hit that thumbs up for us. And if you subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen, you'll always get the latest episodes in your feed. So, because sometimes they go out, we try to stick to a regular schedule, but every now and then something new goes out, something fun, and we don't want it to fly, under the radar too much. So I think that's gonna do it. We have some fun Disney news to chat about today.
Finally.
We're going to be tackling some of that recent news from all over the Walt Disney Company, starting with some very fresh news from today. So Disney is springing forward by bringing back a ticket deal for spring and summer. The Magic Ticket is returning as either a 4-park Magic Ticket that allows admission to each of the 4 theme parks with 1 admission per park and only 1 theme park per day. The price is from $99 per day or $396 per ticket. It is valid April 2nd through September 22nd, 2024, and must be used within 7 days of the selected start date. A cheaper alternative is the 3-day 3-park ticket that allows admission to Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and Animal Kingdom with 1 admission per park and only 1 theme park per day. That's right, no Magic Kingdom. The price is from $89 per day or $267 per ticket. It is valid April 2nd through September 24th, 2024, and must be used within 5 days of the selected start date.
It's a good deal.
Discuss.
Talk amongst yourselves.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, if you're coming down and you're one of those people, like park hopping wasn't a thing when we were still coming here when I was younger. So I think somebody for my mom, or if it was, somebody who hasn't been in a while. I know park hopping has been around for decades at this point, I feel like, but I think somebody who can be I'm just going to stick to the 1 park per day, it either goes well or it doesn't. I think it's a great deal.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The only one that makes absolutely no sense to me is the one without Magic Kingdom. I get you save a little extra money, but how can you come to Walt Disney World and not go to Magic Kingdom? And I know, it's somewhere out there, Denny Sunderly and probably Hannah too is screaming, but Epcot. I don't care about just Epcot. Magic Kingdom is
on vacation.
Oh, okay, so I take that back then. Sorry, Hannah. I just threw Denny under the bus, wherever she is.
We're watching you.
And I feel it's not that good of a savings to bypass the premier park here at Walt Disney World. Yeah. It's hard to imagine. Excuse me, coming down here on vacation and wow, I have no voice now.
You visit a sea witch before this?
I think so. And not seeing the castle. What I do love about this deal is that it's a wide date range. And so if you're coming during peak summer times and maybe, the resort you want to stay at doesn't have a discount, this at least gives you a way to save on your vacation. Also feel like now having a toddler, we do the parks differently. And I don't feel like park hopping would be make or break for us because we do shorter hours in the park, and I think if you're looking to save money, park hopping is not a make or break. I think you can do it.
I agree. I'm not a park hopper.
Yeah.
When I was younger, 20 years younger, I would hop. We'd do that definitely. But now I'm a one park a day person.
Right.
I get what I can out of that park, and then I'm back to my resort.
Also, I think if you are staying on Walt Disney World property, as opposed to like maybe an off-site hotel, it does give you that opportunity to be like, okay, you know what? Let's go back, enjoy the pool or the bar, or just lay out, or just have a nap, because I think it's almost like, I don't want to say it's forcing you to slow down, but you do kind of are like, okay, this is our one chance, one opportunity. I feel like I'm starting the lyrics to a High School Musical song. I think that was 16.
Are we all in this together?
16 to talk about, so that you can go back, especially on that 4-day ticket, and get the most out of like Magic Kingdom. So you can watch the fireworks and enjoy those and stuff like that. And so, but I agree with you. I think with the wide swath of dates, it's nice, because it really is like now until, I was going to say the beginning of Halloween time, but it's a month into Halloween.
Yeah, it's a month in, and
2 months in,
that
almost.
brings up a good point that who said it right here? I already lost it. Mike saying, do the 3-day ticket, get that extra savings, and then if you're going to like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, then
tip.
right there you already. You have a little bit of a better time in there. So not a bad idea as far as that goes. And I do think that this is great from the perspective, if you're the type of person that you're trying to come to Disney as often as you can, or you just, even with budgeting, you still are struggling to get that great price that allows you to like feel comfortable coming on vacation. But for me, I will say it until I no longer have a breath in my voice. I am team park hopper all the way, especially when it comes to like dining. You don't want to be like, I hate then like struggling because you're like, okay, well, the only availability that I can get for the time I want is at this park on this day, but we had planned on going to that park. And then it just, I like the flexibility. So for me personally, it's one of those things where if I'm budgeting even more than like expensive meals, like extra merchandise, I'm gonna budget for park hopping. And I don't, luckily I don't have to do it here because of my annual pass, but that's what I consider every time we go to Disneyland, getting a park hopper out there, because I'm just like,
that's completely different.
That's a different
no,
story.
it's not different just because the proximity is closer. To me, that makes no sense. It's just, it's about how.
No.
It's
listen,
everything,
totally different
correct?
here's the
strategy
thing.
out there.
You're not allowed to tell me how I have to vacation in
Well,
this.
I agree.
She is a travel agent. She is.
Yeah, we're
and
the
you will
experts
listen
in
to
planning
me.
your perfect Disney vacation.
Listen,
Sage wisdom.
Teresa and I made up last week over maple creme brulee and other delightful Canadian dishes. I'm not going to start
that a
off this
makeup
episode
date?
fighting with her.
Evidently.
I don't know.
Apparently, I was crashing your
We
day.
were third and fourth wheels over here.
Yeah, I thought
Wait,
we made up.
I'm sorry. You're saying that you would prefer not to do the Hopper Pass at Disneyland?
No,
No,
I'm saying I do
no.
because of flexibility. But
He's
if you're
hopping like a
talking
rabbit
about
everywhere
he
budgeting
goes. Yeah.
and saving, I will bring up your friend Nicole, who, when we were just out there with the races, to make her vacation possible and do it that way, she had to budget for a 1 park per day ticket.
Disneyland,
That
that's
is,
tough.
That's the beauty of all the different things we can do, though, right? You like to hop. I'm more of a turtle and working my way through park to park,
Same.
different parks. So that's cool.
Yeah,
it's okay.
so-
it's okay.
No, I understand. But so, like, in terms of proximity with it, I am one of those people that we came to Walt Disney World so often that we found our best methods
Humble
for
brag.
getting from park to park very often. A very humble brag from this
Get that
Nepo
cinnamon
baby
roll
of the
money.
Diz.
right, yep. Here we go.
We prided ourselves on the fact that we could watch back in the day, watch Illuminations at 9:00. That wraps up at 9:20. Being right in the center there, still make it to the monorail on time to get in Magic Kingdom for fireworks at 10:00. So when you start like really looking at that, I know that people struggle to get all the way from It's a Small World over to Disney California Adventure in that same amount of time because they get distracted. So I don't think that proximity always plays into it. I think the budget is the bigger thing. If you can't afford park hopper,
always.
don't throw away your vacation on adding
Yeah.
a park hopper
I
on
see
it.
what you're
But
saying. Yeah.
if you're smart about how you travel back and forth, if you really budget and you're like, you know what, I also have minivan money, take me and drop me off faster at places, then it turns into a complete different scenario.
I do see what you're saying now about the like not throwing away the Disneyland vacation. I would argue, that I think just there at Disneyland Park specifically, the Hopper Pass has a much greater value even than Walt Disney World. I know at Walt Disney World, you're like, well, you can go to all 3 parks in the same day. But what I'm saying is I think it creates basically those 2 parks. It makes it, it's like, woo, look, now your other park is twice as big, the one park that you were at. So for me, that's why I would, if you were like, you can only hop from park to park on one coast, for me, the way I like to vacation, I would choose California over Disney World because of what we've been talking about. But I also agree with Craig. It was like one of those where you find ways to work around it. If that's all you could afford, for that trip, then budget and use that. Maybe you're trying to use that money on a special experience, like you're going to do the Napa Rose or something like that.
Here's the thing I'll say too with Disneyland, even though I don't want to just keep going back to it, but for me, Disneyland Park, if you're talking about, if you need a hopper and you plan on only going to Disneyland or spending most of your time at Disneyland for the day, don't get the hopper just to have it for California Adventure. I could spend 3 days in Disneyland and never leave that park. But with California Adventure, that's different. If that's your park for the day, that's when I start to think oh, maybe I should have had a park hopper for this day because I'm going to get bored too fast. So there's differences. But Walt Disney World, I will always be team park hopper if you can afford it. Give yourself the flexibility. Then you don't have to stress about, now I have to somehow cram Crystal Palace, a buffet in there, and Cinderella Royal Table, or Be Our Guest, and have that all in one day, and worrying about, I don't want to dress up in the morning, but now I have to go back and then back to Magic Kingdom. I just feel like giving yourself a little bit more relaxation with park hopping will benefit you in the long run. Sorry, Hannah.
Sorry. I was just going to say, I have a
Sorry, Froggy.
I know. I don't know if I'm ever going to get this right, but I do feel like I have a counterpoint to your relaxation point, is that
Don't.
No, I mean, park hopping it's a little bit of work. So I would rather, and so you mentioned dining a lot, I would almost rather spend more money on the resort and not on park hopping, and then take an afternoon break, go to one of those awesome Disney pools, have, a good meal there, and not put as much as importance on park hopping or dining.
Okay.
Even.
Well, I'm taking over this show. What resort is worthy of that splurge on?
Yeah, I was actually thinking Polynesian in my head, where I was like, if I was doing it the way we did when I was younger, and it was like, okay, this is that splurge, and it's like the one-time thing, I think it's got to be a monorail resort. I always frame it in terms of my mom. I know that's everybody's different. You guys have younger children. Teresa, you've got older children. You have older children. No, Klaus.
Klaus.
That's right.
So you our frame of reference for all of this is very different. But for me, if it was I think I'd do a monorail or Wilderness Lodge. My mom actually, she did do a dinner there the last time she was in Florida, and she was like, I can't believe there's hotels this nice here. And I'm like,
that's nice.
Yeah, so because she I think it was still Artist Point at that point or something, but I she loves Fort Wilderness, stuff like that. So I think for me it would be now that the Fort Wilderness is not what it once was, not having reviewed it or anything like that yet, I think I would do the Polynesian, only because I also guiltily want to have a weekend at the Polynesian.
Too. Love it.
I do like Wilderness Lodge, but I like the Contemporary too.
It's because you're in the rooms now, at the mode.
Yeah,
that's right.
Well, not necessarily.
You designed it.
I'm in the mood. No, I just like the Contemporary. I like the. I don't know. I don't really have a reason other than I just like it.
Does anybody love the Grand Floridian?
Not me.
I've seen the new rooms, and I absolutely love.
They do look beautiful.
They're beautiful the way the rooms are now.
Yeah.
With the little touches of Mary Poppins. I had forgotten about that. So
I don't know. I've never. I don't know. So I'm like,
I've got clients. That's the only place they'll stay.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, moving on, because we're little piggies and yummy. Disney has updated their reservation system for their apps, as well as the website that now allows you to search for available dining reservations for any restaurant up to 10 days at a time. A previous update finally allowed you to see all reservations available in a single day, which was a great addition versus the dark days of the past.
The dark days.
Oh my God!
Sad
There's
little
nothing
days.
more frustrating than you were just screaming at your phone. This is $1 billion company, like, and I just want to see if there was an Oga's Cantina reservation at some point this week.
Right.
Although at this point I'd
wouldn't
be like,
be.
no, skip Oga's. But but it's that thing where you're like, okay, I know someone's in town for 5 days, and you're like, and they're flexible, and you're like, I want to go to this one place with them, and having to do it morning, evening. Or, morning, lunch, evening, whatever. And then just keep having to do it. It is just the most, infuriating experience ever. So this is such a welcome change. Yeah.
And when you're booking dining for a client, this makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can see, the flexibility of
I didn't even think about it like that. That's, that's got to be, because I was thinking
before it's like, it's not here. Okay, let me go over here. Oh, it's not here.
Right.
And then, you're trying to get what they want, and it's hard to... Now it's so much easier just to go in and...
I was thinking even just locals, like for us being like, I want to kind of see what's out there and being like, you can move in around it. That's nice too.
Well, I mean, that has changed. Just the all day has changed my life because I book all the dining reviews that we end up doing.
Is that what we're doing? Oh, okay.
What's that?
Nothing. Go ahead.
She's asking where we're going.
See, I want to point out for people when they're like, does Craig hate Teresa? I need to make sure everyone knows that she pokes the bear and then I attack. So
please,
I'm
you
just
guys
saying
love
it
each
in that
other.
way. But I'm going to take the higher ground today.
Is the
like
camera on me?
Like a Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Don't do anything.
Yes, you do. You're not. No
do
one's
not.
falling
I
for
am
your
the
little
victim.
I just
pity
watched the
party.
episode of Will and Grace where she keeps calling Will over to do like Karen does to do a name task for her, and he finally is in her house in the foyer, and he's like, what is the problem now, Karen? Did you lose the stick that you poked the bear with at the zoo? And she reaches down and goes, no, honey, it's right here. And it is one of the best. Like every time you guys say that, I always imagine Teresa going, "No, honey, it's right here."
Poke the bear. I don't.
Yeah, you mess with the bull, you get the horns. I'm just saying that much.
Okay.
But anywho, if you want to come dine with us, I believe our next ones are Raglan Road as well as Boat Rights.
Ooh, I do like both.
I've never been to
Okay.
either. No, I lied. I've been to Boat Rights once, I think.
I've
Well,
never
I've been to Boat Rides several times.
No, I've been to Boat Rights twice. Yeah.
That's
well.
the one right next to Yeehaw Bob right
Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went with Nicole,
yeah.
actually, my friend Nicole. That you were
I've only been there once, but I will admit, I have never been to Raglan Road.
I've never
gotten
been to
drinks
Raglan
there.
Road.
Oh, I did
I've gotten
Raglan Road one
drinks.
time. Wonder they still have the
I am
the little
Irish and never
the
been.
forest of scallops. It was an
Forest
appetizer.
of scallops?
It was like
Is that
little
something you
forks
walk
with
through to get
scallops.
Oh, okay.
I want to say they do. Yeah.
It was good. It
Listen,
kinda-
guys, I had corned beef and hash. I know this is off topic. Not corned beef and hash. I had corned beef and cabbage last night. I had my St. Patrick's Day meal a little early.
Did you cook
Week
it?
early.
No, girl.
Oh,
I can't do
I bought
that.
my cabbage last night. Okay, anyway, when are you doing these reviews?
I don't want to say.
Okay.
I'll tell
He
you.
doesn't want people to
Well,
come.
Yeah, we'll tell you on
If
the
you
after
want to
show.
add me in,
So-
I'll
I would
play
be
nice.
flattered if people
Okay.
cared and
I'll
showed
keep
up.
my short stick that I poked the
Well,
bear
I'll
with
just
in the
say,
car.
it's not-
Yeah,
a
I'm
lot
gonna
of
get you.
notice.
That's gonna be on your shelf. We're gonna put a stick for you on your
Oh,
when we get our
nice.
little personal shelves all set up. We're gonna get
There
you
you
a
go.
stick.
Gonna be a stick. I've got a police billy club I can hit.
Whoa. Okay.
Or is that?
There's a story there.
Well, I feel uncomfortable now. Anyhow,
Well, yeah, sorry,
as
go
the
ahead,
person
Craig.
who makes the dining reservations for our team, I loved when they updated it just to show all day because I struggled so much sometimes to find something that when one person said, okay, I would be able to do this time, I'd be able to do this time. Rather than that, I get the entire view of the full day and send it out, and it made my life so much easier. And I can already tell you that like I started messing around with this new 10-day out system today. It wasn't as straightforward as I thought. I thought it was going to be like you click on the first start day that you want, and then it automatically shows you the next 10 days. You actually have to drag and drop to
Put
where
in,
you
yeah.
want to. So, which makes sense. Like if you're only going to be on property for 5 days, why do you need to see 10 days worth of
Right.
None
And
of
that's
the
a lot.
reservations?
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot. So the 10 days is great for locals or people staying a long time. But like I already was messing around with it, and I'm like, this is almost too many options. Like I feel like I have the world. Jesus wept.
Right? Oh, Lord. It's a beautiful thing.
We're not putting that on a shirt.
Okay.
Well, that's a callback. Craig and I went on a trip to Disneyland together, and I had just watched the Community, rewatched Community, and there's the episode where the dean is in like the Lawnmower Man, like 3D reality stuff, and he just keeps being like, the files, the thing, and he goes, Jesus wept, and he keeps saying it, and they're just like, please stop saying it. So we're back in that loop again, but here we are.
And if we were able to do more post-production on this, I would drop in the clip right after so people understood the references.
That would be nice.
Then we'd stop getting the we don't understand what you're talking about. Stop with the inside jokes. We want to open up the jokes to everyone.
There it is. Community, now streaming on Hulu. I think it might be on Netflix, or it might be on both. But well, we might have 10 days of restaurant searching availability at our fingertips, but sometimes that won't help. Like if you're trying to book 1900 Park Fair close to its reopening date. I ruined the joke.
Oh, man.
Not that we have any firsthand experience with that. Bitter, table of 3, 4 if Teresa's there. But anywho, Disney released their foodie guide last week for those who do have reservations, and here's what you can expect. This was a read where like I can feel it in my mouth already. You know, when you're like that sounds good. Your mouth starts watering.
Do tell.
Breakfast.
Breakfast.
So where you're starting? You say steak.
Hey, I'll add a little more bass to your voice.
Yes, Craig.
That's a Brady Bunch 2 reference.
Oh, wow. That was
okay.
Deep cut.
Bread pudding with vanilla creme and glaze. Donut holes tossed with shimmer.
Just stop.
I don't like the way
I don't
you
like
said
that.
holes.
Stop.
Grand
I don't like
Floridian strawberry soup with fresh strawberries and whipped cream.
Oh,
Double chocolate muffin.
Is that a muffin top or an entire muffin?
It's plant-based, baby.
Killing me. Stop.
Guava and cream cheese.
Danish.
Just read it. You're creeping me out.
Cinnamon pull-apart bread. Beef and potato hash.
Classic Eggs Benedict with hollandaise sauce.
I do love Eggs Benedict.
Right.
A carved ham.
And a ham.
Would you go into the
whole
South?
ham.
Croissant breakfast pizza. Smoked salmon. Cheesy potato casserole.
Ooh, can't go wrong there.
No, you
Oh,
cannot.
yeah.
Spiced tofu scramble with vegetables. Plant-based.
What kind of tofu scramble?
Spiced.
Spiced.
The Dune tofu scramble. Spice? No. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
And an assortment of fruit,
Spice is
cereals,
life.
pastries, breads, as well as a variety of plant-based options.
It do
Spice is
sound
life.
good, though.
Okay.
Now, if we could just dim the lights a little bit, I'd like to talk about dinner. No, we can start with breakfast. What do you think of that menu?
Wow.
I mean, I know everyone's sweating a little bit because I
Can you
just made
slip in
myself
something
sweat a little
more
bit. So,
comfortable?
yeah.
I'll be honest, I was not able to listen to any of that, so
It
I
was too
heard,
creepy.
I think donut holes.
Yeah, is that what you tuned
Yeah,
You
out?
lost
that's
me at
what he said,
donut
holes.
holes.
Guys,
Yeah.
tossed with shimmer.
What?
Tossed
Meow.
with shimmer.
Yeah.
Is
Donut
that
holes
you?
tossed
It
with
says
shimmer.
donut holes tossed with shimmer. I don't know what shimmer.
Wow.
I'd like to meet him.
I would say that's something
It's a
that's
stage
edible.
name.
Wait, is that the
Anyways.
whole description?
Speaking of Big Daddy.
Stop it.
Well, I
breakfast
regret
sound-
saying that after the donut
You're being
holes
too
comment,
manly
but
and it
yeah.
doesn't fit you. Go ahead.
Here's the thing.
my
Breakfast
radio
sounds
voice.
great. I
Oh.
wish we had a reservation for breakfast.
You want to be the ladies' man?
I want some
next one?
shimmer on
I'm
my
kinda
donut.
Yeah,
last
well,
minute
let's talk about
reservation.
Dana.
We'll get it.
Okay, Eggs Benedict. So a lot of it was just basic
Some cognac.
foods. You
Yeah.
know, breakfast foods.
Yeah.
You got your
No,
egg,
girl.
You got your
Bread
potatoes.
pudding right there.
Does it have raisins in it?
Well, I don't. Girl, I
Well,
don't know.
I mean, with
don't
the
know.
imagery they
Oh my God,
gave,
look at the little Mickey
cinnamon,
donuts
I believe
holes.
that's the cinnamon pull-apart
Oh.
bread, which that looks good. And
I would eat
here's the
that.
thing, buffet eggs Benedict, I always go in being like, this is going to rock my world,
Buffet.
and then I'm never impressed with it. It's
I made
always
Eggs
like,
Benedict the other
this
day
is
at
sat
home.
too
It's
long.
really good.
Oh,
But
that's
is that the
impressive.
pizza? What was the pizza? Right?
Croissants?
Is that on the croissant?
The
Croissant?
pizza was a
Croissant.
Yeah, the croissant
Breakfast
pizza.
Where's
listen,
the I want to
you
see
know
that
the
looks
shimmer. Do you have the shimmer?
I'm hot for
The
breakfast.
shimmer?
donut hole with
I
the
am too.
shimmer?
I think
Getting a
that's
little sweaty
no,
over
that's
here.
the shinning you're talking about, and we don't have the shinning.
the shinning. Yeah.
The shimmer.
Yeah.
Dude, we'll get sued. Sorry, that's it from an episode of The Simpsons, Treehouse of Horror.
Oh,
now
Lord.
available to stream on Disney Plus.
How do you need to read a book and turn the TV off?
I watch a book every night.
Do you watch a book?
Yeah.
All right, what's dinner?
Okay, first of all, just real quick, literally, I want to try everything on this menu. Like a cheesy potato casserole, yes,
Yep.
please.
Always.
Yes.
Beef and potato hash.
I love a potato.
Yeah.
I love
Love
a
me some
potato
hash.
hash.
Yeah.
100%. The strawberry soup seems wild, but that's like a staple, right?
Yeah,
Strawberry
it
soup?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a staple. People
Put
love
strawberries
it.
in soup. What they gonna do next? Blueberries?
It's a smoothie, guys. Calm
Yeah.
down. It's a smoothie.
What you do? A hot smoothie. I
No,
left this
it's a
in the
cold
car.
smoothie.
You know.
Cold.
It's cold.
Well, I almost said a
It's
bad
just a
word.
smoothie.
Because I was about to say
Just
that
look
is
at
BS.
look at it being poured
Oh,
out
into
that
a smoothie
goblet.
glass.
No, that
Yeah.
to me is a globe goblet.
What's that guy next to it?
That's part of the dessert menu,
Oh,
which I
just
believe
wait
is
till we
at
get
the
there.
end of the dinner. But I mean, strawberry soup. Why not?
Okay.
Strawberries.
Do you want me to read it the same way, or is it too much for everybody?
I want a normal read,
A normal read
but
of
with some excitement, with just a
dinner.
little
Well,
hint.
I mean, I think we'll let the live chat decide on what
Okay.
they want if they want it. So we'll give it a second.
Okay, how about I do every other one? I'll do exact opposites. Ready?
Wows.
Peel and eat shrimp with a cocktail sauce.
That
No,
was
you
a
did
terrible
not.
one to start
So
on.
I wish I had
you
started
did
that one
not.
with the Tiano's gumbo with spicy andouille sausage,
Baked salmon with saffron lemon butter.
carved prime rib,
Curry roasted chicken.
roasted garlic sausage with tomatoes, herbs, and braised cabbage.
Porchetta with hunter's sauce.
Jaeger sauce.
Is that what it? Jaeger bombs. Couscous salad with dried fruits, almonds, mint, and parsley.
Sun-dried tomato and rosemary focaccia.
Mashed potatoes.
Green beans.
Glazed carrots. Grand Floridian, I can't do it anymore. Grand Floridian strawberry soup with fresh tomatoes and whipped cream. Grand Floridian financier, which is an almond cake with sea salt, caramel, and toasted meringue. That sounds delicious. Toasted coconut cake with passion fruit, custard, and hibiscus creme. That's plant-based. And then a lemon blueberry cheesecake. I love lemon blueberry.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And a vanilla cupcake. And then there's also a fudge brownie with a triple chocolate mousse.
That's gonna be every brownie at Disney World ever.
You know, I was channeling Marshmallow from Bob's Burgers. I feel like there.
Oh yeah, you
Hey,
were.
Bob.
That was a great performance.
I love Bob's Burgers. But yeah, honestly,
I'm more hyped for breakfast.
yeah, I feel like I'm more. Not that this doesn't sound like, oh, there's good options, but there was more. I feel like when it comes to breakfast, and I've said it in our dining reviews before, for me, is that I feel like breakfast is one of those difficult meals where I feel like a lot of places just go the standard, like tried and true. You know, it's like some sort of omelet, some sort of scramble. There'll probably be something with hollandaise on it, whatever. But I love when there's like creative stuff. So I love like this breakfast pizza, the fact that there's the bread pudding for breakfast. You know, it feels like there's maybe like more exciting things that aren't going to be everywhere.
Right.
You know, and so it feels like, whereas this menu, like, not that it doesn't sound good, it just is like a little more like, I don't know, it doesn't feel as
No.
creative as the first one.
See, I want dinner.
What do you want?
I already told you what I want. I want that. I want that
peel
porchetta
and eat
with the
shrimp.
hunter sauce.
Yeah,
That
that's
is,
Oh, yeah, I
to
figured
me,
you wanted
is
Wasn't there a
What is
salmon?
hunter
calling
sauce?
my name. What's that?
What's hunter sauce?
Hunter
Like a
sauce.
gravy?
It's yeah. So
Who
if
are-
you have
who
you
are
ever
they?
had Jaeger schnitzel?
No.
That was a perfect opportunity for a, what'd you call me?
What'd you call me?
One of your catchphrases right
Jaeger
now.
bombs.
So no, so it's like I mean, it's basically a gravy and mushroom gravy ish. So porchetta, I love porchetta. Disney's been doing so much porchetta lately that I'm like, but I feel like every time I call it porchetta and then
Porchetta?
someone
I
says
barely know her.
It's porchetta. I believe I was watching porchetta. I was watching Next Level Chef and they kept saying porchetta and I'm like, this is why I suck at my job, because I can't remember the pronunciations for
hard.
words. Listen, I see the
Yeah.
CH and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's a chetta.
I like the way it sounds better with the CH.
Tell me what
actually.
Tell me about the salmon again.
The salmon.
You want me to tell you about the salmon?
Yeah, wasn't there a salmon on there?
Oh,
think so.
there's a baked salmon with saffron lemon butter.
Yeah. I love
That sounds
saffron.
good. I do.
I
What's it come with? Anything? Does it say anything else?
no, I've
That's
read
it.
I've read
Well, it's
all
a
the words.
buffet, so that's the main, and then
Oh,
you would
okay,
probably
got it.
pair it with a side, maybe
couscous.
rice, a couscous.
Couscous. Mm-hmm. I do the.
I love couscous. Yeah.
Just
I don't know. I mean, yeah, honestly,
both
I'll be
sound
happy
good.
with either. But if you get that breakfast one, tell me about that.
And
one.
breakfast is a
You
good
know how difficult I
value
am with
too, because I
breakfast.
feel like that could be a brunch, and then you've covered breakfast and lunch.
Are you a big breakfast eater, Hannah?
Not normally, but brunch, yes.
Yeah, brunch I'm good with.
That's
yeah.
right, but breakfast. No,
I don't get up and have a
normally-
big hearty farm meal every day.
Yeah, I'm lucky if I eat a banana. Or,
Same,
you know,
yeah.
it's mostly coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll eat a big breakfast if it's put in front of me, but I'll say that about any meal of the day.
You don't get up
I'll
and
eat it if it's
cook
put
one.
in front of me.
Kylie's
What's
not,
that?
Kylie's not cooking you a big hearty
I'm-
breakfast every day.
I can count on one
Okay,
hand
Kylie
the amount
doesn't
of time
cook.
that Kylie has cooked for me.
Period.
I am the,
End of sentence.
I
yeah.
am the chef
I
of the
love
house.
that.
I don't want to be
Okay.
rude, but
Yeah.
you don't want her to.
So-
That's a
No,
good
she's great. Didn't she make me dessert once?
No, she's
Was there a
great.
brownie?
What?
Didn't
Yeah,
she
she
make
can.
once?
She
Yeah.
can. She can bake a good cake, brownie. She
Yeah.
is very much the sweets
Yeah.
side of the house.
okay.
But
She's good at that.
She
That's awesome.
just. I try to get her to watch cooking shows with me, and like it's just. I feel like.
I get it. You
I
want your
feel
wife
like-
in the kitchen where she belongs. I hear you loud and
No,
clear.
I want her to
He's saying
explore
it.
more. The thing about cooking
How
is
rude.
you can't be like baking is so much of a science that if you
Yeah.
screw up the ingredients, you're going to mess the entire thing up. And
That
I
is
like
true.
to
That's why I
promote
can't
that
bake.
when you are cooking, you can literally add an
You
ingredient,
can
like taste
change
your
it up.
ingredients, and if
Yeah.
it tastes bad, start thinking about other things you can do to fix it, and you
Right.
can make up for it. And I'm like, that's why it like you can still make bad stuff, but it's a lot easier to go that route. But then she's just like, but I don't want to disappoint you, and I'm like, oh, you won't.
She's just saying that.
I
She
know.
just don't want
She knows what it's
I
like.
know.
to
I'm
know
like, this
you.
is really
You're
smart. I
very
gotta take
critical.
a page out of
You knew
Kylie's
this
book.
going in, though, right?
What's that?
You knew this going into the relationship.
Yeah.
That you were, yeah.
Yeah.
Craig's a very good cook. If you've ever had the chance to eat any of his food, it's very, very good.
I've not.
Like, yeah, I don't like to.
Yeah.
I don't like to talk about it too much, but
Do you
He's
cook
good.
rhino at your house?
no. I wish because I think my realm is with Kylie in the baking area, where I'd like to. You know what I really want to get into? Casseroles.
I could
feel
help
like
you with
we
that.
don't have enough casseroles in our
Girl.
lives anymore.
Love me some
Yeah.
I
casseroles.
know. I'm
And-
from Mississippi. It's like casserole capital of the
Yeah,
world.
you gotta have.
So
a
that's where I'm like, when I
casserole.
move, that's where I'm gonna start getting into that. But I was gonna say, because you asked about this and the breakfast thing. Breakfast is the thing I'm trying to learn. I can make a really good omelet because I read that Julia Child's book over and
yes.
over. That
Yep.
and she talks about it in her book, My Life in France. That I was like, I'm gonna learn how to do this, and I feel like I do make a good omelet.
Yeah.
But then, like, I'm now really into like in the reels. You know, when you click on one video and then it shows you a million videos.
Yep.
Is those
Every
like
night.
reels of like people making stuff with the little dash single waffle
Oh,
maker?
yes,
And so there's a lot of like
mhm.
breakfast oriented stuff you can do with it, like
I
the
love those
chaffle,
little things.
which is an egg with cheese, and you just put it in there and it puffs up. and
Take
it's a
that
little
waffle maker and
egg.
put your hash brown potatoes in there.
Yes.
Yeah, there's so many things
Yeah,
you can do.
I do. If you do it with like, it can't just be the white rice. It has to be like white rice and like other things in it, you know. And it'll compress the rice into a patty,
Right.
and then you can put your like, you know, slice up some spam, get a little sriracha on
Nice.
there,
I've
and
not
you can eat a
done
little
that.
crunchy like spam musubi deconstructed. But
Oh, you need to come out and we cook because we cook all the time.
Yeah,
daily.
we do too.
well, we're gonna have to have a cooking show. No.
Yeah. Actually, it'd probably be highly entertaining.
Yeah, you'd think. Anyway, it seems to be a trend with whatever we do. Whenever we do a show, news comes out while we're doing it, or like
Yes.
immediately after. We all know this. So we're gonna jump back to some news that might not feel super fresh, but it came out minutes after our show ended last week, and that is that Disney CEO Bob Iger spoke at the Morgan Stanley conference and mentioned the Avatar experience in Disneyland that was previously teased. He said, "We have one Avatar-based land, Pandora in Florida. We're going to put a second one in California." He also said they could increase the size of Disneyland Resort by 50%, and things are looking good for the Disneyland Forward project. Last night, the Anaheim City Planning Commission voted 5-1 to approve sending Disney's plan to the full city council for an upcoming vote in April. The council could vote against it, but it seems like Disneyland Forward is likely to become a reality and would be a huge statement for Disney parks domestically, even if it's not what we want here in Florida. Also worth noting, the project would be included in Disney's 10-year, $60 billion investment in experiences, which according to a new filing, 50% goes to parks and resorts, 30% to tech and maintenance, and 20% to cruise and other. So I think this is incredibly exciting because I feel like we already kind of alluded to it earlier in the show about vacationing, is that, or maybe that was before we got started. It was before we got started. But it was Craig was saying, don't live where you vacation or whatever, and you were saying we do, and I was like, no, I don't actually like living in Florida, but I like vacation. Like when I go to Disneyland, for me, it has that magical feeling that everybody has for, that I'm sure a lot of people have for Disney World that feels different for me now. But it's like Disneyland, this idea of like Disneyland really, and the city of Anaheim, getting this kind of investment and this like major like overhaul sort of thing happening to it has me very, very excited for what could be there in the future. Do we have like guesses of what we would hope goes there? I would hope, it's written, you wrote question marks over the stuff, but for me, I would like domestically, I would love to see the Zootopia stuff somewhere.
Yeah.
So like if it ends up over there, I think it would be great. I feel like they definitely, I see Nick and Judy there all the time. And I like, you know what I mean? So it's one of those where it's just like, I don't know. I think a land like that would be a lot of fun out there.
I'm going to say something that might be a little on the bold side, but either I want them to do super immersive lands like Zootopia, World of Frozen, Avatar, even if it's not everyone's favorite, it does in fact hold up. But I would love to see either something like that, or and I know they will never do this, but I would love to see the opposite way go and say, you know what, California Adventure, let's figure that park out again. And one thing we're going to stop doing there is we're going to stop the festivals there, and they're going to make whatever Disneyland Forward is like super centric about festivals and limited time activities, and make it feel like more special in that way, like it's a constantly evolving around the year style park. And I don't have that idea completely.
You mean like
fleshed
how
out. Literally what Epcot has become? Yes.
Well, okay, yeah, I was gonna say you want sort of like a better fleshed out version of what we do here, but I'd love that because their festivals are shorter lived. The Food and Wine Festival is only like a month and a half,
so disappointing.
And we're missing it just a little bit. And I'm seeing all this good food, but then like we missed Lunar New Year, right? Because we were out there right before that started, and Lunar New Year, great food, great festival, and their festivals like sort of permeate throughout property, which is nice. They are because it's a smaller property, but like I feel like that would be really cool because it would kind of open that door. And also I feel like they don't feel as constrained to having to deliver to a demographic in ways that Florida can be, where like, we talk about it a lot in the dining reviews and things like that, where like the palate here has to be way more neutral than I feel like at Disneyland they can experiment with it more. There's a lot more Asian infusion in a lot of the food that they do there. Right. There's a lot more Mexican, touches in that food and stuff like that. And, and it just feels, I don't know, feels like more fresher. The food. I feel like I have much better experiences with food there than here.
I would agree.
I agree.
Crazy thought, if they do this and they expand Disneyland and it becomes more of a Disney World type property, what does that look like? I wonder if it becomes something bigger, like does that decrease the crowds here? Does Disneyland become more of that like every 5 years vacation, or that kind of, because that's what I think of Disney World now, is it's for, families wanting that like bucket
trip.
list. Yeah, Disney vacation.
The once in a lifetime. We're all doing it. We're going all out. Yeah, we're pushing everything we have.
So I
Disney
wonder.
World.
Yeah, because that's what Disney World caters to, is that crowd. I feel like in more recent years they're starting to tiptoe into a little bit more of being like the people that are here every year or twice a year, or annual pass holders. But it's definitely, Disneyland, that is the vibe there. And I completely agree with what you're saying.
Hannah brings up an incredible point. It changes the entire dynamics of Disneyland, as long as whatever Disneyland Forward feels like it's a full day experience in that way. If you add that in, you're talking, even though it's still plopped right down and not the greatest area. I love Anaheim. I don't mind, like, even when I'm staying offside the streets. I know there are plenty of people though that do, and that's why they love the bubble of Walt Disney World and don't want to give Disneyland that same fair chance in that way. But I still love a lot about it. If they make a 3-park experience that all of a sudden warrants a 7-day vacation, I'm all for it. I think that changes the game, where you have people who are east of the Mississippi, which isn't that much, but I mean, I feel like if you're anywhere from like maybe Colorado area over to the East Coast, you probably look at Walt Disney World more as your vacation that you want to go to. And I know I'll throw Salt Lake City in, because I know that there are a bunch of people in Utah and Salt Lake City that specifically want to come to Walt Disney World. I mean, back in the day, I felt like every other person you met on the college program was from BYU. So I know it's huge in that way.
A lot of the older people were all from like Michigan. Everybody's coming from Michigan.
Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania. So I feel like Disneyland, you do get, it's very heavy California and up that West Coast and Arizona and New Mexico. But I feel like so many people who are right in the middle of the country would still opt to come to Walt Disney World. But now you might be shifting it, and it's stretching that border a little further, where people on the East Coast are going to start thinking more about Disneyland, especially if they're the exclusive home to, stuff like Zootopia and other experiences from foreign parks that you can't get anywhere else. That could be very, very exciting.
I can't wrap my head around it.
I know, same.
I can't even imagine it being different than it is, and there being more of it, because I love the way it is. And I'm stuck in the past. I really want everything to stay the same. But if they're going to add something in, like you said, that you can't get here in Florida, then I'm on board, because
I definitely want that.
I want that. Yeah. I want something.
I don't want it to just be like, okay, well, now we're going to clone those parts of Disney World that we're missing.
No, they can't do that. It has to be something.
Well, that's the Avatar thing that makes me nervous.
Other than that, I feel like, I mean, like you said with the food.
Not put that River Journey ride over there.
The food is totally different out there. It's a totally different vibe.
Different experience.
A totally different experience. And I want whatever they do to be that way too. I don't want it to be
authentic.
I don't want it to be something I can get here.
Right.
Even though it would be slightly different, it still would be the same.
Well, and I feel like you brought up a good point about like keeping things the same in some sense, because I think Disneyland is, it's such a sentimental place and there's so much history there. So I would like to see, this expansion in California Adventure or a third park. I'm like, I hope they kind of leave Disneyland Park.
I do too.
As is, and then I'm fine with anything that's new is okay.
There's still very, very glaring holes in Disneyland Park. They have got to do something with Tomorrowland. I feel like that has been everyone's opinion.
Yeah.
Hannah, if you say that Disneyland's Tomorrowland is fine, you will go down as the worst opinion ever on the internet. One that no one has ever agreed with.
Yeah, you're right. I would just be happy if they would bring back People Mover. I wouldn't be so mad about Tomorrowland.
Right.
At Disneyland, it's all right. I hate our Tomorrowland too.
They keep the core Disneyland the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but that doesn't mean putting Avatar in Tomorrowland or putting, it could use some updating. I also think they could still, I know that California Adventure has more Marvel, but I'm like, we could do so much more with that. Like, I would love to see them just run with more MCU, just, California Adventure or wherever.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I want that roller coaster or whatever the third attraction is supposed to be, even if it's not a roller coaster. I don't think it is a roller coaster now. I think they said it was I think it's now like a Star Wars, like a trackless vehicle ride or something like that, which is fine. Whatever. Just get the third ride in there, and then that land will definitely be much more well-rounded. But for me, it's already what you guys have been saying, what Craig said, is that it has the opportunity now to create a bubble. So now they will be able to have that sort of experiences. If you looked at sort of the proposal of where they were talking about the land and developing and things like that. So it'll be really interesting to see how this all plays out. So we'll be paying close attention to that come April.
And the only other thing I'll throw in, too, is while we're giving so much praise to Disneyland and wanting to see it grow forward, that doesn't change anything about Walt Disney World at the same time, too.
It's like people have to be one or the other.
Well, we have talked so much in the past I would say the past month and a half of like, what do we want to see improve at Walt Disney World, and did some great episodes on that, ideas for land expansions. And that's Walt Disney World still needs to do that in tandem then with Universal, what they're doing down the road with Epic Universe. And that will keep people coming back to Florida in general. So if Disneyland moves forward with Disneyland Forward and creates a brand new destination that more people want to go to, that doesn't change the fact that Universal is becoming a juggernaut. And as SeaWorld moves further away from their animals and the park kind of doubles down as a roller coaster capital, there is a day potentially where SeaWorld could start entering the conversation more here right in Orlando. They're going to end
up capitalizing on that. I feel like that teenage phase, where it's the kids outgrow, they go through that growing phase, like maybe they'll come back to it. But that 13 to like 19 who's like, yeah, I'm just here to do the rides, and I want to go on everything that's the most extreme humanly possible. Like that's the thing. That has always been Universal's edge, is that I feel like it caters to just a slightly older crowd. And like, I know Disney it's trying, and MCU is a big opening point for them, and stuff, but it's the same problem they were having for a while with Young Boys, is that everything they were releasing was all like princess oriented. Right. I'm not saying that they can't get into that, but I remember that was like 15 years ago that was a big discussion where they were like, they kind of started changing the names of movies and stuff because they were like, well, we have to market it to young boys too.
And who knew? All they had to do to market to young boys apparently was Ewoks, pink dinosaurs, Care Bears, and trains.
Yeah,
I agree with all those things.
I've seen that before.
I don't know.
Yeah, who me?
I don't know.
When I look at Rhino, I don't know if I look at Rhino or I look at the Care Bear, because it's the same.
Someone in the chat was like, "Is that so bad lovable product placement?" And I was like, "It's me. It's like a
no, it's
chubby, chubby kind of sad.
You are not chubby, but that facial
bear.
Expression is.
Oh, I went to the doctors yesterday.
Cute.
They weighed me. I am 40 pounds heavier than I was in
at
2021.
Birth?
At birth. That's my birthday. Yeah.
Is a young boy.
No, so I was like, yep, that checks out. But I'm happy to say I can hear out of one of my ears again. So
that's
just one.
Just one. Yeah. So heading out to sea. Well, no, I'm not going to make the joke. It involved.
We know.
Okay.
The room.
No, we got you. We got you.
Sea people.
Yeah. Heading out to sea, Disney Cruise Line has had 2 exciting updates. First,
actually 3. I screwed up the script. I'm sorry.
3 exciting updates. Oh yeah, you're right. 3 exciting updates. Sorry, I should have caught that.
Sorry.
First, Marvel Day at Sea will be returning in 2025 on select cruises from Fort Lauderdale on 5-night Bahamian and Western Caribbean cruises. The Marvel Day at Sea itinerary brings together Marvel superheroes and villains in a day-long celebration with unique entertainment, superhero sightings, a special restaurant menu, and unforgettable marvelous moments.
Oh.
Yeah, they went there.
I wrote that.
You wrote that.
Oh,
wow. Oh my God! Wow, Craig's auditioning for the Disney blog.
Right. Wow.
You're
Disney
welcome.
Parks blog.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
I got questions about Ka-chow, though.
I do actually have questions.
Ka-chow.
I'm pretty sure that's a Marvel phrase.
Kapow.
No, it's Ka-chow.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Ka-chow.
Okay, so that's not on the Wish then? Or does the Wish go out of Fort Lauderdale?
No. So they have done the
that's
special sailings a lot on out of, when I did Marvel Day at Sea, it was out of Miami, but now having Fort Lauderdale, a great port for that. So
you can take the
Push
train
Fort
there right
Lauderdale.
now from Orlando?
You can.
You can.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
the
can.
Which
I'm going to try. Have you done that?
No, I want to do it.
I want to do
get
it.
Cocktails on it. And
Yeah,
Stella
you
and
sure
I,
can.
we want to do it. We're going to give it a try.
Nice.
Yeah,
Just to
when
see,
Yeah.
I went to Fort Lauderdale for the Dream Cruise, they offered to put me on the Bright Line with it. But the hard part for me, for me personally, is like the time invested in getting on the Bright Line. Like if I drive down, I know how long it's going to take me, give or take 30 minutes with traffic. But with the Bright Line, because it's out of the Terminal C at MCO, you have to go to the airport first, and then you have to park,
Yeah, but
and then
you got to
have to go
think
through
people
all
coming
of that.
in wouldn't do that.
Oh, yeah, no.
So you gotta, that's why
totally,
I want to do it.
Yeah.
And when I'm going to work
Yeah.
down the beach line, and if you time it just right in the morning, it's coming beside you, and I'm like,
That's cool.
Oh, that's fine.
it's just
Yeah.
really cool. It's a really cool
No, I
thing.
totally get it from that
Yeah.
perspective. And
Yeah.
we talk a lot on our DCL show about how, like, it's great that people can now really look at, like, if they want to go out of Port Canaveral, but they're getting better rates to come out of or fly into Miami or Fort Lauderdale. That now opens up such a huge window. And same goes for if you're wanting to cruise out of Fort Lauderdale. but MCO has better prices. Fly in and then take the Brightline down. Because if you book far enough out, the base tickets for Brightline, I believe, are $46 per person, and not much round trip. Hello, everyone. We're going off the rails. I'm your host, Frank. Sorry, it's. Sorry,
it's Craig's
fog.
version of the teapot in Get Out.
Oh my God.
Yeah, teacup.
As soon as I hear that whistle, it just goes. I didn't hear the all aboard. But yeah, no, Brightline, cool train. But it's a great way to get people to go on those cruises during a time of year where Castaway Cay might be a little cooler. It might not be as exciting, and I think it's a great option. Like I said, I did Marvel Day at Sea 2017, maybe. It was a long time ago.
Was it that long ago?
It might have been.
Is that when they first started, I think? Is that when you did it?
Yeah,
it was 2017 or 2018. Maybe it was even 2019. I don't know.
You did a Star Wars one too, right?
No, I have never done Star Wars. And they discontinued Star Wars. Yeah. They added the Pixar Day at Sea, which Panda did for us last year. And that looked like a fun time. But Marvel Day at Sea was awesome. I just always hate these cruises because when it's Marvel Day at Sea or Pixar Day at Sea, it is the day you're at sea. And then the rest of the cruise, you're like, and so when you don't get to see every character, or you have a bad view for the show, or you'd miss something, you're like, it would have been great if they could have stretched this out over 2 days so I could have seen everything.
I think it should be the whole cruise.
I do too.
I've always thought that. I thought,
yes.
a day at sea, why can't it just be?
Well, that's that's
the whole thing.
Yeah, because like when people do a Golden Girls cruise or a whatever cruise, a Backstreet Boys cruise, whatever you've done.
Cruise.
No, I have not done those. First of all, but I know people who have, and I'm like, that's the whole thing. They're going, and everyone
there could be something every day.
Yeah, it's like
I want to see Darth Vader in a Speedo on the beach
or
whatever. I want to.
I do.
Darth Vader in a Speedo on the beach.
There's just. I want it to be more than one day.
Yeah,
so I've always had an issue with that.
I don't think people necessarily know that.
No, they think it's going to be you're just walking around and there's whoever.
And then the hard part is though, you like it so much that you do want to book it again, and Disney doesn't see a reason to change that because you came back, so clearly you liked it, and it's like, no, I want to make up for what I didn't do the last time. And I because I almost had a baby internal Craig meltdown at Christmas when we had the you see the characters in their special costumes on the first night with the tree lighting ceremony. It's so beautiful, and then they're like, okay, this one day they're going to be in their costumes all day, and then it's like, okay, well, I missed out on 2 of them. When are they going to be back out again? Well, tomorrow night's pirate night, so they'll be wearing that, and then maybe you'll see some of them on the final day. It's like, I came on a Christmas cruise to get characters in their Christmas outfits. Yeah. I want they should be in it every day. Give them the first day. First day, get them in their nautical outfits.
Sure.
And then Pirate Night, I understand for that, but otherwise they should be in their Christmas attire.
It's all about Christmas.
Nonstop.
Interesting fact: from December 1st to December 31st. Craig wears his Christmas sweater every day.
Oh, he's wearing that starting July 1st. He is always.
He wants to always be in Christmas.
I feel that.
I'm with you though.
Yeah. I love Christmas.
He does.
I do. I love
I
Christmas.
never met anybody who. Maybe you guys are competing for it.
I
could
moved
definitely
to Christmas,
compete.
Florida.
I know. I made the move to
You're
Christmas.
the queen of Christmas, Florida.
I love Christmas.
I accused Teresa of not listening to Christmas music when I had to drop off her microphone and camera at the Welcome Center. Then, but she explained it. It was okay. But this, I want to say too, just to throw it in. I know Alaska season's coming up soon. This same thing applies for Alaska. That annoys me. It's an Alaskan cruise. You think that it's going to feel Alaskan the entire time.
Yeah.
It really should be called the Alaskan Day at Sea as well too, because on the day that you're sailing up through the Inside Passage, that's the day that all the characters are in their special costumes. That one day, and then you have a special show at night, and it's so frustrating because then too you're like, well, it's great. I'm seeing outside all the beautiful sights while we're going up, but I'm waiting in line for characters, and it's like
too much.
It's almost too much of an overload where you're like, if I could meet these characters staggered throughout the cruise, this would be so much better. But
What was the special show?
It was the Anna and Elsa Frozen show that was on the top deck. I believe only Panda and I went because you and Elaine were drunk off of iceberg margaritas.
That's right.
Wow, that was blunt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I was.
now
That was a little too real for
And
me.
Greg
Actually,
was it?
I
I'm
remember
confused.
now.
Oh,
I
no.
am remembering now.
I will tell you, I 1000% was, and it was one of those things where I had to wait
I think
until
I fell
got
asleep
home.
or something. Like
I had to wait until I got home to be like, please tell me my footage is in focus. I could see it, and it was, but it was very
Listen,
stressful.
we were on a small ship, and they were like, we pulled one
The
of
Disney
the
Wonder.
the glaciers aboard, one of the pieces of the glacier. So they had pulled ice out of the water, cleaned it off, and then broke it to make
Like a Titanic
margaritas.
scene,
And
or
I was
what?
like, when in our life they were the clearest ice cubes you'll ever
That's
see in your
awesome.
life? And you were like, no, they were just cut up, like smashed and
Kicking
like,
it along with the little
and-
other kids on the deck.
And they were like, they were just like, and I know it's the equivalent of like scooping and eating snow. But we were like,
I would've-
when else can
sounds
we do
cool.
this? And those margaritas were strong. And we had not
Evidently.
really been eating that day, so we
Yeah.
had 3.
They-
Not
Each one of
eating
us
on a
bought
cruise?
around.
Who are you?
We did not have time. We were constantly
know,
trying to
you're
meet the characters.
Constantly
Yes,
drinking.
blessed to be working here in a new generation of working here too.
Ah,
so
I
I will
see.
emphasize that.
I don't know. I
Because
guess
I
I'd
did
just get
have a little
fired 'cause I'd
breakdown
be
on
at
the first
buffet.
day.
I would not.
I would
no.
find my way to the
Well,
buffet.
our
Room service?
our crew of Elaine and Jackie and myself and Rhino, we wanted to meet the characters so bad. Like, so
Yeah.
it became a challenge for us.
I
where
was
it's like,
dressed like one
Martini
of them.
Mom would definitely be chilling on the deck with a margarita.
Rhino was
and
laying there with hugging his
some
iceberg.
chicken tendies.
I was like, I found my character.
I-
This log of
know.
ice.
Hannah.
All right.
okay.
Well, we got a little bit more to get through, so be quiet.
Good luck.
All right. This next part is a bit visual, but we did. But did we all see? Sorry, I need to restart the sentence.
Wow.
Everyone,
Take
be
two.
quiet.
For room
Back to
tone.
1. Now, this next part is a bit visual, but did we all see some of the new Disney treasure merchandise? We got a peek months ago at some of that Haunted Mansion parlor theme merchandise, but Disney has shared some of the merch, including a porcelain coaster set with graphics for Haunted Mansion Parlor, Skipper Society Lounge, and Periscope Pub, a mixologist accessory box focused on those same venues inspired by Disney Parks attractions, a ceramic platter of the Nautilus and the Giant Squid, a 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea vase, or complicated drinking vessel type thing, a jewelry set, a notebook, and probably a lot more. So the one you have up on the screen for people watching right now, that's that's a
bartender
bottle
That's the
opener.
bar stuff.
Yeah, so what's the key supposed to be in that, though?
You know, I've been trying to figure that out all day, and I cannot. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's a wine
is the
bottle
bottle
opener.
opener?
I could. So the
Is that a bear's mouth?
The bottle opener is supposed to be reminiscent of the knocker on the Haunted Mansion.
Oh, it's a nice
And
set.
the wine cork, the whatever they call it, where you put it, what you put in the wine stopper.
Yeah, wine
Thank
stopper.
you. That is looking like one of the helmets from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea that
Gotcha.
they wear to go underwater. And then it's a Jungle Cruise key, so I'm assuming it's a wine key, so it's a wine opener. But that's
That's what it
just
looks
my
like.
Yeah.
assumption. is
okay,
that it would
okay.
You
pop
can see
out,
looks like
but
it's got a cork.
The two aren't.
It's
Yeah.
hard though. My eyes are bad,
Expando,
but
yeah.
those coasters. I mean,
Can you
I
go-
will
yeah,
be.
sorry.
I'll be
Oh, I
getting those
know.
coasters, huh? Those are cool.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
goes Owen's college fund. I saw this and was like, I need it all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, we don't have coasters for our studio right now, so get me on
know.
the
It's in
Disney
my
Treasure,
list of office
so
supplies.
I can.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, no, we
I'm
gotta.
curious.
We'll wait till
I forgot.
December.
them.
I literally have a bunch at my house. I'm like, I need to bring these coasters.
I've got some at the office
Mine are just
that
Back to the Future
I
ones.
found in the filing cabinet that some previous owner had left at the office, and they were in the package from Hong Kong Disney.
Oh.
And I
Oh,
popped them
nice.
open and I started using them.
Well,
I was
that's
like,
cool.
I like
Yeah,
this.
Can you
got
scroll
them.
through so I can
know
see
what we're
the
saving 'em
other
for,
coasters?
but-
Show us the goods.
The other coasters. These are the only ones you can.
No,
see.
the other. That,
Yeah, here
there
we
you,
go.
there we go.
What's that?
That's the Nautilus facing off against the giant squid, but really it's fake succulents because, of course, you wouldn't be able to walk off Disney Cruise Line with real succulents.
Well, you know what the
That's
problem
kind of
is
a bummer.
with
I
these
wish
things?
it was just a vessel. And
The
you could
fake
clean
ones,
your
you
own
can't pull
stuff.
them out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
you
is.
What do you
can't
mean you
get them
can't
out
pull
of
them out?
all these ones. They've been releasing like a series of them. Like there's been a
Yes.
Baymax one. There was a Black Panther
I can't
one.
put my real plant in there?
No,
No,
you can't.
it's,
You
like,
have to.
glued
It's
in.
like it's not like, oh, it's lightly glued in there. It is a part of it. Because there was a Chip and Dale one that was super cute, and I was like, well, I'll put real succulents in there, and I got it. And when I got home, I was like, I can't get this thing out.
Well, especially that one's probably going to be so expensive that like you wouldn't want to risk breaking it. You know,
I love it how it is. Just leave it like that in there. What I don't love,
I can't do fake
again.
So
we got
I thought that was
here.
A glass.
We got a dole here. Well, that's so. You have on the top of this photo here is the weird 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea thing.
I love
that's
that.
like a glass that is dropped down into a different like whatever,
like a koozie. It looks like a porcelain koozie.
I have tiki mugs like this that if they have holes and stuff and they're supposed to like shine a light through with like a glow cube, then they put a clear glass inside, so all your liquid goes in there.
That's cool.
And then they try so like
I like that.
So I have stuff like that. So that's where I'm like, I don't know if that's what they're going for, where this is a glass you're supposed to drink out of, and they want the look of the dive helmet and the squid that's going around to kind of, be able to be there without getting ruined, or I'm not sure. It could always just be a vase.
That's what I would.
It would work as that too.
A pencil cup, a pen cup, very fancy pen cup.
It's multi-purpose. I think you can use it for whatever. And then the bottom is a jewelry box, which looks like it has a key necklace with two small earrings.
Billy better be buying that for me. I want it.
Yeah, I mean, it's all.
I like it.
It looks cool, but I want to know what you do with the big vessel because I want it as a cup to drink out of. But
even if it's a vase, baby, just make a big drink.
Baby.
Make Daddy's big drink.
And the most boring one of all, this notebook.
Mama will make everybody martini.
This notebook.
What's this?
It's a notebook.
Oh.
It's not the notebook.
For all your secrets.
But
yeah, it's gonna.
Do you have? Is it lined paper or?
Blind?
I'm gonna say it's lined. Yeah, she's asking, are there lines on it?
Oh.
But it's not. I'm going to say.
It's like, what's blind
It's
paper?
not a grid.
Blind.
I don't think it's a grid. I think it's a lined notebook.
Okay.
But it very well could be a sketch notebook.
I bet it's the cheapest one of the souvenir shoes mentioned.
It's cute. I have one like that made out of elephant poop. It's really cool.
Wait, what?
The paper is made out of
like papyrus.
No,
like it's like pounded into.
It's made out of recycled
that ancient Egyptian there pounding reeds.
Recycled elephant.
He's making papyrus, a sort of paper.
Yes, it looks like it. You can't write on it. It's bumpy. Because of the elephant.
Where'd you get it from?
I don't know. Some gift shop in Atlanta. They had all these. I
thought she was going to end that with Animal Kingdom. You boob.
I was too like the Smithsonian.
No. It was but it was made by some people in a different country. That,
cool.
It was cool.
All right, one more.
Okay.
Ready. Okay. Finally, this is a lot older, but what are we thinking about the new costumes for the Disney characters at Castaway Cay?
I mean,
it definitely. I mean,
it's a lot.
It's
giving a lot.
I'm going to be honest. So, and Craig wrote in the script. It definitely gives DCL fans a reason to go back to Castaway Cay, but is it?
Does it?
Is it enough to get us on a
reason?
cruise? The answer to that is absolutely not.
Oh, for me, completely different. As soon as we saw the new costumes, Kylie and I were like, how quickly can we book a cruise to go back to Castaway Cay?
Really?
I don't know if you have figured this out yet. While I don't post a lot of photos of me in general, I love taking pictures with characters, especially the ones on Disney Cruise Line.
That is such a plot twist.
Castaway
for
Cay is my favorite day because I love that you get off the ship and then you have to start doing this mad dash where you go from the post office to then Mount Rushmore, then back to the post office, then back to Mount Rushmore, and then right beside it, and then back. Like you have to keep dodging and running back and forth to get everyone. We get it, Hannah. You relax.
Yeah, we get it. She's drunk on the beach somewhere.
Can you? They have mimosas in the morning.
Restate what you just said about taking pictures with characters?
I love taking pictures with characters.
You?
With characters or of characters?
You liar. Because
I don't
Scooby-Doo and Shaggy were coming toward me, and he would not take a picture with me with them.
Are they on Castaway Cay?
Okay, then you did not say that in your repeated sentence.
Oh, no, I didn't say it in the repeat. I said it the first time. On a Disney cruise, I love taking pictures of characters.
So specifically the cruise.
Because it's much easier to do.
Okay.
Yeah, there's more of them. You can, they're wandering around.
Was Velma there?
Stoner friend. Was Velma there too?
No, it's just the dog and the stoner.
And there's an easy strategy with Disney Cruise Line and characters to knock them off, as long as you're willing to,
just
kind of
with that billy club.
Let me take my billy club on the beach.
Yeah, he's going to knock off Chip and Dale so he can have those MC Hammer pants for himself.
Oh, here's the thing. Okay, show the picture again. They're my favorite. They're my favorite.
Yeah.
They are cute.
They are bright. All the costumes are bright and bold and I mean,
Just
you
like
could
you,
argue
Craig.
they're
The
obnoxious.
90s are back, baby.
Well, I mean, Roosevelt's
guess-
just came out with all their very flashy 90s stuff, very similar to what you're wearing right
This
now.
is
That's
part of
the
it.
collection.
I was like, this is part of the...
So,
It is very
yeah,
colorful.
and
I
so
do
I
love
feel
Daisy's
like
outfit.
I mean, always.
It's bright, it's bold, but I love
hammer
that I
time.
now have a new reason to go back to Castaway Key.
I
Because
mean, I didn't need a reason, but
I need to see the back of Daisy's hat. I like it.
right? Does it have a flower?
need her
a
to
bow?
spin
You know,
it.
it probably
Is
has
it just a
bow.
visor or just a?
I mean, they're fine. They're fine. They're cute.
I
They've
think
done
it's just
worse
a hat.
costumes.
It's just like a sun hat, a big giant sun
Also, I
hat.
wonder,
What's Pluto
is
got,
this...
though? Nothing?
He always has a special collar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You should have a hat
don't
or
leave
something.
him out.
Some sunglasses.
I do think they need to do
Some
more with
goggles.
Pluto. You know what?
I
put
can't
him on
see
a
this
leash.
far. Is Donald's hat like a flipped up bill?
that dog
It's a
on
visor,
leash.
like
Goofy on
what
a
you put
leash.
on when you're snorkeling. Your
Oh,
goggles.
okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. I just like Pluto. Give him. Goofy always gets the life jacket. How come that dog doesn't know how to swim, but Pluto all of a sudden knows how to swim?
That dog
Pluto's
can
a
barely
superior dog.
walk.
Yeah,
like,
I guess that's a good point.
I was like,
So
if
why
Goofy
they
did
need
not
to-
have the jacket, he would be dead.
Does Max know how to swim? Did Goofy teach Max? I don't
Max
know.
went
Where's
to college.
Spoonerville?
Well, they
Is
both
it
went
close to water?
college.
They don't live close to water.
Yeah, I don't know where Spoonerville is.
I don't know. And I don't acknowledge an extremely goofy movie as a movie. So Max did not go to college in my book.
They both did.
So.
And where's the mom? Was there a mom? We don't know. Was he adopted?
Are we
Goofy-
sure Goofy went
What,
to
is he
college?
made by midi-chlorians?
Maybe.
Goofy went to college or Max?
Both.
That's
Max-
what Hannah's claiming.
Goof-
I don't
Goofy
buy that
goes
Goofy went to
with Max
college.
in the second
And
movie.
he
It's called
gets a
Extremely
girlfriend.
You're
Goofy.
freaking kidding me. That's the plot of the movie?
No,
They
I
go
don't
to
know. I've
college
never seen it.
together?
I only have it. I own it,
Yes,
but
it
I have
is.
never watched it.
And he plays.
Yeah, I
you
think
know,
he because he ends up
the
at the
next
dance
games.
and does the disco.
Because
and-
that's
Yeah,
what
disco.
every
Have some parts
that's what
of
every
it.
child wants their parent to go to college.
Yeah.
That's
with
the whole.
them.
That's the point.
I mean,
of
I
the movie.
hope Owen does.
Is,
'cause, yeah, I'll be there.
I'll be there.
I'll be that parent.
Well,
Well, I now never want to watch an extremely goofy movie.
you already said the other day you weren't going to watch it anyways.
I did say that, and I
I'm gonna
stand
go
by
home
it.
and watch it today.
yeah, right. We'll have a watch party after.
Right? We'll have that.
Well, gang, that is going to do it for today's episode. We ask when booking your next Disney vacation, Disney Cruise Line vacation, to get out there and knock off the characters or whatever Craig said he was going to do. Please consider Dreams Unlimited Travel.
right.
Remember, you can get a free or no obligation quote. Just visit dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. And again, thank you to our Patreon supporters. Why at the end?
It's contagious.
Why at the end?
We love our Patreon supporters.
We just really
love you so
appreciate
much.
everything that you do.
But really, though,
Lord, help me.
When choosing your next content creator to support on Patreon, consider the Diz Unlimited.
You can get stellar. You can get like right now. We're gonna probably take a beat, and then we're gonna do our post show.
Post shows are fun, guys.
Yeah, it's a vibe, and it is uncensored, and it's a lot of fun. And Heshua,
never
what
know.
was the name?
We're not going to go over that.
Okay. Anyway, so if you want to learn more about that and the other kind of content that we provide over there, head over to patreon.com/DizUnlimited. Remember, like we said earlier, if you are watching this on YouTube, please go ahead and give this a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click that bell. You'll get notified whenever we publish videos and go live or things like that. And then if you are listening to this, wherever you listen to your podcast, please, whenever you have the time, if you're able to, please rate and review it. And I think that's going to do it. Craig has written, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, which isn't true because if you're a Patreon supporter, you can stay with us for a little bit. But I'm just going to say to all of you, it is lunchtime, so yummy, yummy.
Brownies.
love you. Bye.